Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for those that are joining us tonight. Tonight I'm sitting here with Amanda, and we're gonna have a chat about everything au pair Europe. So just relax, enjoy the chat with us, and we're gonna leave all the questions to the end. You are welcome to pop your question in the chat box, and then we will get you that at the end of the presentation. Also, for those of you that haven't seen the message, if you could just please put your name and if you already know the office that you're dealing with, or just put your location in so that we can get the officers to reach out to you tomorrow. All right, so let's get started. So for those of you who don't know what OVC is, we are one of the largest gap year organization in South Africa. We have over 75 years of experience between all of us in the offices. We have traveled. We have 15 branches across the country as well. So we will definitely put you in touch, and we share our, everything from beginning all the way to the end. All right, so the destination that we currently offer for Europe is Germany, Belgium, and the Netherlands, which is quite nice. And the nice thing is that you will be able to travel between the different destinations, which is what we call our country hopper that we're offering, where you can go from one destination to the other. So it's a nice way to spend up to 3 years in Europe, which we will tell you more about this super cool option towards the end. All right, so some of you might know what it is to be an au pair, what skills you need to have. Maybe some of you don't know everything, but the program is very basic, straightforward. Obviously, the age restriction is 18 to 25 for the Netherlands and the Belgium, and 18 to 26 for Germany. Obviously, you need to be able to ride a bicycle because that's going to be your main mode of transport to get all around, except for Belgium want to have a driver's license as well. In general, you need to have good health. If you have any pre-existing health conditions or on any medication, you just need to check to OVC so that we can just pre-clear and pre-screen you in terms of that. It's a bonus to have first aid and obviously swimming. Families love au pairs that can swim because they feel confident that you can take the kids to public swimming pool, especially with the summer month. And you need to have a passport, generally South African Namibian passport. If you do hold any other type of passport, just chat to us, as it is a case by case on other nationalities that we do accept on certain destinations. And most importantly, you need to have childcare experience, which is from babysitting, working at a school, daycare, teaching, tutoring, volunteering, be part of the children's youth group, church, in your community. Anything to do with children or where you have to like look after children counts towards your childcare experience. Then we go on to, in terms of like a typical day as an au pair. So most of you know what it is like, or what is expected from you. Obviously, your main role is to take care of the children, to be part of the family. But you're gonna have like from your early morning, you're gonna prepare breakfast, get the kids ready for school, take them to school. Then you've got your afternoon activities, homework, play date. Have some fun time with the kids, and obviously it moves on to dinner, getting ready for bed, have some family time before the end of the day. And every family is different. Some family, you could be responsible for helping with getting breakfast ready, and the parents get the kids ready for, dress up and get them ready for the day. Then the roles could be swapped up. But this depends on your family, the age group that you're going to take care of. So this is one of the important nice things to chat to the host family during your interview to kind of get an idea of your typical day. Obviously, you work your hours, which is between 20 hours approximate for Belgium, and Germany, Netherlands, it's about 35 hours a week. So your typical day is divided, plus you've got your off time as well. In terms of the program support, obviously we work with partners in country. So the same way we screen you as an applicant, checking all your requirements, your references, etc. our partners do screen the host families. They do, home checks. They do background checks. They're also in touch with you and the family during your program here. If there's like any problems, any issues that comes up. They organize au pair outings as well, where you get an opportunity to meet other au pairs in your country or in your community and have some fun cultural experience as well. Obviously, your medical insurance is included in the program that will cover you for any medical emergencies that might happen while you're overseas. They also provide support in terms of the visa documents, making sure that you can get your visa, all the paperwork along with OVC that helps with everything that's needed in order for you to get on a plane and arrive safely with your host family. So now, and when it comes to finding a host family, obviously you've got an idea of what you're looking. You maybe want a mom and dad with two kids, or you're open to a single mom with three kids. You've got babies, your infant, your toddlers, your primary school kids. So most families have kids from, baby all the way up to like 12, maybe 13, but most of them is like up to 10, 11, single parents, your same-sex families, your mom and dad, yeah, and obviously your like whether it's two kids, three kids, five kids, you've got your own idea. You've got your own picture that you can, what you're looking for in a host family. And when you have your interviews with the family, those are the qualities that you can look out for. Well, is the family sharing the same interest? Is the family, like you have the same outlook when it comes to, raising the kids and discipline and routine time, like free time? Do you and the family share the same kind of thing? So there are different things that you look at, and we do help you with a typical guideline in terms of what you look for in a family, how to find the right family, typical question to ask during the interview, opportunity to meet the family more, multiple times, the kids, the former au pair, before you make a decision to the family that you want to match with. So we don't choose the family for you. You have an opportunity to interview more than one to find the right match that fits with your personality. In terms of your destinations, I'm just going to break it up, for those of you that are looking for a specific destination or want to break it up nicely. So in terms of the Netherlands program, so you have to apply before the cutoff is 25. You have to get your visa before you turn 26-year old. So if you are like 25 and a half, that is the latest that we can get your application in order to attempt to match you on time, get your visa on time before you age out. You work about 30 hours, 30 to 35 hours a week. You earn a monthly stipend of 340 euros. You get to live with the family, your meals with the family and provided. So the stipend is for you to spend on traveling and, doing what like your visiting museums and do whatever you feel like on your off day. It's a 12-month program, and you also get to do a language course. So the host family covers for a Dutch language course. That's a nice way to learn another language. Obviously, if you speak Afrikaans, you'll pick up the Dutch language quite easily. And as I mentioned earlier on, your visa allow you to visit all the Schengen countries within Europe, that you can travel multiple destinations. And most importantly for the Netherlands, they want excellent bike riding skills. You have to ride a bicycle. You need to be confident on a bicycle. Part of the application process is that you need to include a video clip of you riding a bicycle, because the family wants to see how confident you are on one, because you're going to be on that very first day that you ride a bike, that you arrive, you're going to be on a bicycle. Obviously, a driver's license is a bonus, but it is not a requirement for the Netherlands. So if you don't have one, don't stress too much. Then for Germany, it's very similar to the Netherlands. The only difference is that you can apply up to the age of 26. You need to get your visa before your 27th birthday. You earn a monthly stipend of 370 euros, so it's slightly more than the Netherlands. You work the same, approximate 30 hours a week. Germany is the only destination where you can either choose to go for a 6 month placement or you can go for a 12-month placement. So if you're looking for a short program, this is your perfect destination to go. The host family will pay for you to do a German language course as well. So you need to have your A1 already, which is the minimum requirement for your visa application. So A1 is your beginner entry level German. And then when you're in the country, you can then advance to your A2, B1, etc. And again, your visa allows you to travel all over Europe, and bike riding skill and then a driver's license is preferred, but there are also families that want au pairs, open to au pairs without a driver's license, but be able to get on a bike. Then with Belgium, it is very similar to the Netherlands again. You need to get your visa before you turn 26. So you can apply up to 25 and a half, and then we can push to find your placement before you age out. The nice thing with Belgium is that you only work about 20 to 25 hours a week, so it's less, and your monthly stipend is 415 euros a month. So more, less hours, lots of free time to travel around Europe. And you also get to do a Dutch or a French language course during your program here in Belgium. And then the bike riding skill, again, another big thing for Europe. But with Belgium, the families prefer au pairs to have a driver's license. Currently, we almost have about 99% of the families in the system that want au pairs that can drive a car as well. So having that is just boosting your application in multiple ways. So now I'm going to hand it over to Amanda that's going to take you through the next steps.
Thanks, Alms. So we're going to pretty much go through the program fees and the process, etc. So hopefully you guys are obviously really interested in au pairing in Europe. We often get asked the question like, which is, I want to go to like the best destination. And to be honest, they're all the best destinations. So you really got to do some research and to try and get a feel for where you feel that you are going to be the best fit and where you feel it's going to work for you as well. Nice thing as well, across the board, you're probably looking at approximately 25 to 26,000 Rand, regardless of which destination that you are going to be choosing. They do slightly differ in terms of application fees and program fees and things like that. The Netherlands, because they are just a quirky country, they obviously do things completely different to the rest of Europe. And they have a small application fee, which is 700 Rand. So if you had to say to us today, okay, cool, I'd like to sign up, we would say, okay, great. You would then complete an online pre-registration. We would send you an invoice. You would pay your application fee, and then you would start and get ready and prepare your application. OVC, your consultant is there to be able to advise and guide you through every step. And normally, when you are either done with everything in your application or just before you're done, we would then request for you to do an interview with your OVC consultant. It's part of the screening process and something that is definitely required. And once we have ticked everything and we're happy with your application, it goes off through to our partner. And with the Netherlands, what they will then do is they first have like a group pre-screen. So Europe works quite differently in the sense of obviously it's a lot smaller than say America, for example. So the interviews are a little bit more intimate, so to speak. So our partners actually like to meet you face to face before they actually put you into circulation with host families. So you'll first have a quick group pre-screen. And once you have gone through that pre-screen and you have been given the thumbs up and our partner have said, okay, great, we will accept this person onto our application, you are then going to pay an acceptance fee of 5450. This 5450 actually is a contribution towards towards your ticket. And when you are actually matched and placed with your host family, that is when you would then pay the balance of your ticket or your contribution towards your ticket. So then you would pay 7-8. So in theory, not in theory, but together your 5-4 and your 7-8 is probably going to come up to around about 13,000 Rand. And that is your contribution towards your air ticket. With the Netherlands, there's no program fee, there's no placement fee, but you do need to be able to contribute towards your air ticket. I can almost guarantee you that 99.99% of your air ticket is to the Netherlands for a 12-month ticket is definitely not going to cost you around about 13,000 Rand. It's going to be way above that. But you don't have to worry about that because your host family will cover the balance of that. So we just break down in terms of when you pay the contributions towards your ticket. The nice thing about the Netherlands is that there's no visa fee. Your medical insurance is included in the program. And then once your flight has been booked and you've been issued your visa, the next monies that you would need to have is really just your spending money. And we normally recommend that you have around about 300 euros. So you're looking at round about 25,000. With all the European programs, it will be medicals and tests and things like that. So you'd need to just budget anything for the medicals. I'd say probably between 1,000 to 2,000 Rand, depending on the type of medicals and where you go, etc. But yeah, really affordable. And definitely worth the bragging rights to say that you spent like, oops, a year in the Netherlands. Then we can go on to Germany. So Germany works a little bit differently. Well, the Netherlands works differently to Germany and Belgium, but Germany and Belgium pretty much work also kind of hand in hand. So if you had to say to us today, Germany is my preferred destination, you would pay your application fee of 5,450. Then once you are matched and placed with your host family, that's when you would then pay your placement fee or your program fee. Your visa fee to for the German sorry, your visa fee is paid to the German embassy, and that's 80 euros. Your medical is included, and then your flight. So if you commit for 12 months, then your host family will cover the cost of your air ticket. If you are going to go to Germany for anything from 11 months and less, or between 6 and 11 months, I should say, then you are going to have to budget and pay for your own air ticket. So just to obviously keep that in mind. And we recommend that you take at least about 350 euros as your spending money, because remember, your first month, you still, because in Europe you get paid monthly, your stipend or your pocket money, you're going to obviously have to first be there for a month and work there before you can actually start or before you'll earn your spending money. Then we have Belgium. So Belgium work and Germany work very much the same. So the same thing applies in terms of paying your application fee of 5,450. Your program fee is only paid once you're matched and placed with your host family. So that's 7,500. Your visa fee is roughly about 280 euros. Your medical insurance is included, and your flights, your host family covers as well. Just to keep in mind that with Belgium, the medicals that you do are a little bit extra, so to speak. It obviously they also have certain doctors that you have to go to as well. But you're probably looking at roughly around about the 25 mark. So those are pretty much the costs that you are going to be spending. I just actually want to make a note of, I just realized now I didn't do a slide, but because it's August and because it's Women's Month, we do have a 500 Rand discount on your application fee. So if you decide that, you are wanting to sign up for one of the European countries, you will receive a 500 Rand off your application fee. Just remember though, for the Netherlands, we are unable to give you the 500 Rand discount off the application fee. But once you are accepted by our partner, we will then take it off this fee here, this 5,450. So that special is running until the end of August. So you don't have lots of time. It's pretty much a week. Yeah, if you are thinking and if it is something that you would seriously like to start with, then apply now and get your discount. And then something that Elms touched on is we have what we call a country hopper. So now what you need to remember is that when you're going to be au pairing in Europe, unfortunately, you aren't able to extend. So it's a minimum stay of 12 months for the Netherlands and Belgium, and Germany the minimum stay would be 6 months. But remember, you're going to have to pay for your own air ticket if you're going to go for anything shorter than 11 months. And the maximum stay is 12 months. So you are unable to stay any longer in in one of the European countries. But what you could do, and if you timed it really well, it depends obviously on how you're going to work it. You could what we call country hop from one to the other. So you could possibly be au pairing in, say, the Netherlands, for example, and decide that you would like to try and kind of extend your European stay. And you could then maybe either go and au pair in Belgium, or you could au pair in Germany. So we can guide you through the whole logistics. I would say if you are wanting to go from literally from one country to another country without coming back home, you're going to have to action that as early in your program as possible. So I would say we would probably need at least 6 months. But this special pretty much basically is a 50% off your program fee. So you'd pay your application fee, and because you are an existing OVC au pair, and you would go from one country to the other, you would then get a 50% off your next program fee. It includes all of our au pair destinations. So it includes the Netherlands, it includes Germany, it includes Belgium, and it also includes the USA. For the USA, you almost likely have to come home, and then you could either apply whilst you're home. So you'd need to basically apply within and submit your application within 6 months of your previous program ending. So that's really exciting, and something that we're hoping that a lot of girls will jump on the bandwagon and be able to take advantage of that. Which is, yeah, I mean, it really is an amazing opportunity to be able to discover different countries. And then we have our grade 11 promotion as well. So if any of you are in grade 11, we have a special that's running at the moment till the end of the year, that where you would get 25% off your program fee. So if you sign up between now and the end of the year, you will receive a 25% off your program fee when it comes to once you have matched and placed with your host family. So that's really awesome as well. And then we have probably lots and lots of photos. So I'm always really quite proud to say that we receive a lot of content from our various different au pairs across the board, so across of all of our different programs. And every single photo that you've seen that's in this presentation, it pretty much all comes from you guys. So it's all of our clients. And I would say that our social media is also probably like 90% full of our actual clients. So they're actual photos of people that we've actually sent abroad, which I think stands for and says a lot about the actual program and for OVC as well. So I'm always really super proud to be able to show these amazing photos. I'm also get insanely jealous as well. But there are just so many photos. I think this is the last slide of just, yeah, lots of our girls having fun. So I would definitely recommend that you would then go and have a look at our socials, so that you can see that, you know, there are actual people like yourselves who are doing the program, who have either done it or presently doing it as well. So we have our TikTok account, we also have our Instagram account, and then very recently we've just created a new OVC aupair.life page. So it's super new. And it's only specifically on au pairing, and it's really useful because you can learn some hints and tips. Hopefully you'll find it inspiring, and all the content that is received is either from our partners, you know, from au pairs that are actually specifically in those various different countries, and obviously from the girls that are, sometimes it's also of au pairs that have just before they go as well, you know, once they get their visa and things like that. But it's really exciting. So if you can follow us on those various different platforms, and hopefully you will learn and be inspired. I think that, yes, that is the end of our presentation. I would now like to just welcome anyone who would possibly have any questions. Feel free to unmute yourself and ask questions, or you can pop it in the chat box. But I know that we'll be here for a few more minutes just to be able to guide you through those questions. I just want to quickly check the chat box to see. So far we don't have any questions. yeah, you're welcome to put your hand up, unmute yourself, go ahead. Alms, do you have anything that you would like to add, perhaps? Maybe?
No, I think we pretty much covered it well. So we're excited to see some applications coming in. I
Yes,
do
that would
see
be
there's a
amazing.
question in the chat box that says, how do we sign up?
Super
So
easy. Yeah.
yeah, so the first step is to reach out to your OVC consultant. I did get your details, and so if you haven't been in contact with one of us before, maybe you can just pop your contact number, private message to us, and then we can just reach out to you first thing in the morning, and then we will send you the registration link that you fill out. So it's just a quick registration form, then we can send you the invoice for the application fee. And we do have the ladies promotion discount that's running for the month of August. So you've got another um, like
Week.
four days left, yeah, 4 5 days left to take advantage of that. So if you sorry, if you sign up for the Netherlands program and you pay your 700 rand application fee, you'll get your discount on your acceptance fee. If you do pay your sign up for Germany or Belgium, you get your 500 rand discount on your application fee. So we'll definitely be in touch with you ladies that's keen to sign up. And then we'll take you through the next step once you've decided which one of the European country that you want to go ahead for.
Then I also just wanted to quickly, before we answer the questions, just quickly touch on like when to apply. So that is also a question that we get often. So obviously, au pairing, we normally suggest our standard generic answer is always to apply at least 6 months before. If you can try and apply earlier, what you guys need to keep in mind is that au pairing in Europe in particular runs a little bit differently to au pairing in America. So you've seen the size of America, you know that there's absolutely thousands of host families. And if you have a look at the actual individual countries of Europe, particularly the Netherlands, for example, you'll see if you look at a map, like it's so super tiny, right? So a lot of the host families, like we're nowhere near the amount of host families that what there are is in America. So the more time you give yourself, the more time you get to complete an application. It's pretty much like a school project, you know, you don't want to leave it to the last minute. You don't want to rush it through. You want to make sure that you've got really nice photos, you've got a good video, and you've got like your answers are solid. You've done a good interview, etc., so that when you are submitted, your profile looks really strong and host families are interested in you straight away. Keep in mind, I've mentioned that the countries are really small. So the Netherlands is probably the most popular European country. So there are a lot of host families in the Netherlands, but there's also a lot of applicants who apply for the Netherlands because it is just such a draw card. It's such a beautiful country. It's just a really amazing place to go and visit. But when you apply, that's why it's important that you have enough time so that you allow enough time for your application, that you also, once you've submitted your application, that you have enough time to be able to find a host family. So it also depends on the time of year that you apply, how strong your application is, what host families are looking for at that time of the year. So if you are like applying, like if you are thinking of going towards your goal and your aim is to go anywhere between January to March of next year, you pretty much want to submit your application now already. Because if you're not submitting your application now already, the chances of you going anything later than that is very, very high. So just to obviously keep that in mind. So you definitely want to try and allow yourself as much time as possible. And just on a side note, and not because I'm the program manager for Germany, but just because it is true, Germany is the fastest European placing country. So just to put that out there as a little FYI. But let's quickly go back up to, I think I saw a question from Chelsea. The lady that visited my school said that there's a possibility to get a study visa through this program after you have completed this day. Is this possible? So, short answer would be no. to be honest. So the European countries, they are delighted to have you and to host you as an au pair, but they really, because it's a cultural exchange program, they don't want people to stay on. So you would then have to return back to South Africa. So you couldn't go and au pair and then change your status or something within country. You would then have to come back home and then apply for a study visa afterwards, once you are back home in your home country. But you couldn't do it whilst you are in the country and go from like au pairing into a study visa. You'd have to be able to come home. So just to keep that in mind. Remember that the embassies or the countries that offer these programs, they're cultural exchange programs, so they're there to be used as opportunities for you to say that you've spent a year in Germany and you've lived with your host family, to learn about those countries, to gain cultural knowledge, to travel, etc. It's not about trying to find different avenues and opportunities abroad or anything along those lines. Maybe something comes your way, and you're not looking for it, then that's great. But please don't use it as an opportunity for you to be able to try and look for greener pastures. It most likely won't look out. And also, yeah, then you should probably do that from the outset. So not to put you off, but if you were to wanting to go and study, then you would need to, obviously you can do all your research whilst you're there as an au pair, but you'd need to come back to South Africa and apply for that student visa when you're back home. Um, I don't know
I've
if
also
there.
attached the brochure in the chat box. So
Oh,
if any of you
nice.
want to download it, then you've got something that you can work through. It's covering all of the info that we shared and then the outline of the piece as well.
Perfect. Thanks, Arms. Okay, well, I think if we don't have any other questions, then we'll probably say good night. We don't want to keep you guys here too long, so it is just really much a very much a short and sweet little info session. But if you guys, think later on, oh, I didn't ask this or I didn't ask that, please feel free to reach out to your OVC consultant, and they would be more than happy to be able to answer any questions. But hopefully, you guys have found this useful and informative. And I suppose till the next time, hey? Thanks so much.